The Rewatchables is brought to you by the Ringer Podcast Network. The Ringer, a name Mallory Rubin was intimately involved with deciding.
That's right.
From about 40 selections.
Could have been brainwreck.com, could have been chasethenight.com. Fascinating alternate history.
Brainwreck.com would have been a terrible idea.
That was your idea.
I know. That sounds like, I don't know, what, like an energy drink gone wrong? I don't know what it is. You can hear Mallory.
Yes.
On House of R.
That's right.
A great podcast.
Thanks.
You pop on a bunch of our podcasts, actually.
Yeah, always nice to be here with you on the Rewatchables, you know?
First time in person in a while for just a one-on-one.
My first time here. Ever.
It's like an intimate Harrison Ford.
Wow, that's how I like it. Yeah.
Kind of talking date for us. You've wanted to do this movie since we launched the feed.
Yes.
We are now in year 9 of the Rewatchables, headed toward 400 movies. It is one word movie month. And I just texted you last week and I said, Witness?
It's time.
And you were ready to go. Witness is next. This episode of The Rewatchables is presented by Prime. You listen to this podcast for the movie talk. So let's set the scene. Our lead, tall, dark, stranded at the airport. Hours of delays. He's strolled, and loitered by every overpriced snack stand, but just when all hope seems lost. Plot twist. He remembers he has Prime. And without a whole library of free ebooks ready to read right from his device, cue the triumphant score. Roll credits. Free eBooks library. It's on Prime. All right, Mallory Rubin, is this your favorite movie?
Top 10 unquestionably, probably top 5. It is one of my favorite movies ever. And it is definitely one of the movies that I revisit the most often and think about the most. And as you know, we'll talk about this at length today, but it is the movie where I believe we see the hottest person who has ever lived. And that is Harrison Ford as John Book.
It's not Viggo Mortensen?
No, though he looks great.
It's not Alexander Goodenough?
Daniel looks great. Moses looks great. Everybody looks great in the movie. But when Book drums the top of the car in the barn, we've just never witnessed anything like it in the history of the world. What a privilege to be here today to talk about it with you.
Yeah, I don't have the same relationship with that aspect of it. To me, this was always more of the Kelly McGillis.
Also wonderful.
Sneaky hot as a teenager.
Yeah.
And they threw a brief nude scene in there, and then she went on to fall in love with Maverick.
That's right. Big stretch.
Big
what
run
a mid-80s for Kelly.
Yeah, great mid-80s for her. This was Harrison Ford's official, unquestionable, I'm now an A+ lister, if you didn't already think that, because he had 2 Raiders movies, he had the 2 Star Wars movies, and he had Blade Runner.
I would say
but they were all like they all had some sort of gimmick with them. This is like an actual Robert Redford, Paul Newman movie star part that those guys easily would have played 10 years earlier.
Yeah, I mean, the franchise king goes prestige, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like the summation of what happens here. We've talked about this before. You've talked about this obviously many times. You've done many Harrison Ford movies on the Rewatchables. Great
Not
podcast.
as many as I thought,
Not
by
as
the
many
way.
as you should have, yeah.
Well, it's almost like there's enough left for a Harrison Ford month, like for real.
I'm available.
Okay, I figured
I'm
you would be.
standing by and I'm available. His run in the 80s is unrivaled. I think it's unmatched. I don't think that there's any run you can put up against it and say, this is better, definitively better. And specifically 80 to 85. I mean, the whole 80s, but Empire into Raiders into Blade Runner into Jedi into Temple of Doom into Witness. What compares? Nothing.
Pretty great. And then he has the Mosquito Coast Stumble, and yet that's a good movie.
I like that movie.
Peter Weir.
Yeah,
the same director for this one.
The collaboration continuing.
So it's an interesting moment. They filmed this in 84, but it comes out in February 85.
Yep.
And it's an interesting moment for the A-list movie stars because we have Redford, Newman, Burt Reynolds. They're all now a little too old. Like Newman was in The Verdict a couple years. He's just aged out of this. Redford has aged out, but doesn't want to admit it yet. Like he's playing Roy Hobbs in The Natural, and he's pretending to be 16 years old in the barn scene.
Yep.
And Burt Reynolds just all of a sudden has a rug on his head and just looks like what's happening. Hanks isn't ready yet. Tom Cruise too young.
Yeah.
Travolta has blown it.
Mm-hmm.
It was sitting there for him for years, and maybe 3 years earlier, he's the guy in Witness. Stallone's kind of over here.
Right.
Clint's kind of over here. And Michael Douglas is starting to happen. Like Romance in the Stone is 84, but it hasn't really happened. And Harrison Ford for like 2 years here is just the guy you would put in movies like this.
I mean, 2 years, like more like 2 decades.
Well, then he protects it. But I'm saying like he's the obvious A-list choice for a role like this.
He is the most powerful force in the history of the world. That is a thing that I believe to be true. And I would say that he is like the rare thing in our fractured world that we can all agree on. You know, he is
who doesn't like Harrison Ford?
I wouldn't want to know that person. I wouldn't want to spend time with them.
What a weird zag that would be.
I wouldn't want to do a podcast with them.
What would be the case?
I don't think there is a case. Because he is like the consummate, you want to be him and you want to be with him, right? He's the ultimate action hero, action star, but he's also like gentle. He's a little goofy, right? He leans into the quirk. He's charming. He's charismatic. He is like one of the things that I love talking about with Harrison Ford, and every time I rewatch any of his movies, gets such a kick out of is the hand acting. You know, the like Blade Runner, my ultimate favorite example, but it's present in every movie, including this one. And that's such a like particular affectation for somebody who only really needs to stand there and ooze and exude magnetism. Yeah. But he does all of these different things. You believe that he's the president. You believe that he's Dr. Richard Kimball. You believe that he's a cop. You believe that he's Indiana Jones. You believe that he's Han Solo. He's a rogue. He's a scoundrel. He's capable of playing the smartest man in the room. He can be empathetic. He can
What about evil Harrison Ford? What lies beneath?
Sure.
Hiding a dark
edgy
secret.
Harrison Ford, right?
Edgy.
I mean, we get Frantic in 88. Frantic in 88 and Working Girl in 88 is one of the great duo film installments in a single year. Just incredible stuff. He is just an unbelievably potent star who has been present in our lives across decades. This is the most incredible stretch, but like the fact that we're living through now, the Fortisance, you know, he's back. He's doing 1923. He was just in a Marvel movie playing Thunderbolt Ross and Red Hulk. Spoiler. He's, he's on Shrinking. He just got nominated for an Emmy for playing Paul on Shrinking. Like, he's just been this inextricable aspect of our movie going and now TV experience for half a century.
Yeah, if you start with American Graffiti, it's more than a half a century.
What is life without Harrison Ford?
52 years.
It's not a life I recognize.
It'll be a top 5 most devastating actor death.
No, I can't think about it. I do have I don't really spend much time on Twitter anymore, but back in the day when I was on Twitter a lot, anytime I saw that he was trending,
you just got scared?
Terrified. Like that he had crashed a plane again or that something horrible had happened. But usually it was just him saying something amazing on a press tour, you know? Is the best.
Well, you said it earlier, but it's the key thing with him. And only a couple of people have this, where guys would want to hang out with them and women would want to date them.
Yeah.
And if you find the actor who can hit both of those and the guys aren't nagging him or jealous of him or anything, they're just like, yeah, he seems like a cool guy. I would have a beer with him.
Who wouldn't want to have a bourbon with Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
One of the things I love is that anytime you hear somebody who has bonded with him in the process of making a picture with him, like Peter Weir talks about this a lot with Witness, right? It's like, I went to Harrison's ranch.
Yeah.
You know? He picked me up on the airfield in Wyoming. What is not amazing about that? That's the dream.
Well,
the best.
And he married Melissa Matheson, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's had 3 wives. Yeah.
Who had been with Spielberg for a little bit there.
Yeah.
But he didn't really, it wasn't like the Brad Pitt where he was always in these famous paparazzi relationships.
Well,
there was always mystery. I never really knew that much about Harrison Ford's personal life. I always just knew him from the movies, whereas I think that shifted over the last 30 years. With Cruise, with Brad Pitt, with Leo.
Yeah.
You just felt like he had more access about what their lives were like.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe, okay, not a counterpoint, maybe a co-point, because you're right about the access to information in real time. Obviously, when you have something like Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, there's a lot of intrigue around it. And
think about that. We never knew that forever.
But now, sitting here now in 2025, anybody who knows that Harrison Ford exists knows that he is the ultimate lover. The Eve Babbitt's quote.
Swordsman?
Ultimate swordsman. You're familiar with the Eve Babbitt's quote, the famous one, right?
What was that one? Is this gonna?
Let's see if I remember it.
Is this gonna make me uncomfortable?
The thing about Harrison is Harrison could fuck. I believe that is the quote. And then she went on to say that he could fuck, and now I'm paraphrasing, could fuck 9 women a day or a woman 9 times. And that seems exhausting. Eve Babbitt.
Who's Eve Babbitt?
Oh, come on. Famous like writer and the figure in the history of culture who had an intimate awareness of Harrison Ford's prowess as a
what?
Yeah.
How would she know that? That just sounds like somebody. She didn't date him though, or did she?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they had
an
intimate acquaintance, as many women did with Harrison Ford, which is the point. He was very active.
Maybe that's why he had to start smoking pot. He had to calm down his little Harrison.
I mean, 9 times a day is unthinkable.
I never believe those stories. Every time they say those, I'm always like, all right.
It just actually seems like it would be a real scheduling challenge, like logistically
There's
difficult.
chafing. I don't know. There's like fluid replenishment.
Yeah, a lot of friction. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
It's tough.
But who knows? They always said that with Warren Beatty. There was like that book about him where it was like literally anyone was in play at all time for him. It didn't matter what they looked like. It was just somebody make eye contact with them and then it was off. They were on. Interesting wrinkle with Witness and Harrison Ford.
Tell me.
Your beloved guy.
Yeah.
Only Oscar nomination ever.
All right. I didn't know when in the pod we were going to do this.
I didn't know this. I felt like I knew this and blocked it out or forgot it, but I just would have assumed there are more. And then I went through all the movies and I was like, all right, I get it. It doesn't make sense, but.
This to me is one of like the great injustices in the history of Hollywood.
That he didn't win or that he's only gotten one?
Both. I think he should have won for playing John Buck in Witness. I think it's a sensational performance. It's a wonderful role. That's a really weird Academy Awards year.
I'm ready to talk about it. Will you just click your fingers? I'm ready to go.
And so there's that. Let's dive into it. But then also the fact that he was never nominated again. Like,
so what were the other ones? Like, would you have said Blade Runner?
I mean, I would say Blade
That was
Runner.
a more loaded year, I think, is the problem with that one.
Right. So that was 82, so the 83 Academy Awards.
Working Girl supporting actor?
Could have been supporting for Working Girl. Fugitive?
Yeah.
Come on. What?
The thing is, those action parts don't usually get Oscar noms.
He was never nominated for playing Indiana Jones at any point. I know it was like a different period of Hollywood, but it just feels like his stature and heft and significance in the history of Hollywood is like not reflected in the fact that he has only been nominated once for an Oscar. Now he kind of famously shrugs this off and says it's not important and says he doesn't care. And because he's Harrison Ford, I actually believe him, but that doesn't mean it's right.
There's a couple parts he took that you clearly, like when he did Branch Rickey in 42, it felt a little chasing it, but I don't think he cares. I mean, the thing when you read about him, like he talks about how Mosquito Coast didn't make money, and he was like, "That's the first movie I ever made that didn't make $100 million." Like he was keeping track of how successful he was versus other people. The thing with the Oscar noms, because this happens in sports. Like people get mad that LeBron hasn't won an MVP since 2013. That Kobe only won one MVP. Yeah, and they'll just say it. Yeah, but if you actually go through the IMDb in this case, I only had like 3 where I was like, oh, he might have gotten robbed. But then you have to look at the year and all the other performances.
What were the few that you thought should have been?
Blade Runner's pretty good case for that one. I think the first Indy, and I think Working Girl 100%.
Yeah, Raiders not being a nomination is so strange. I really do think The Fugitive is a bizarre miss. That's an odd one.
I think that was a really hard year, though.
The thing about Blade Runner, which, as you know, is one of my favorite movies and one of the certainly most important movies in my household. Yeah. It's my husband's favorite movie. The one thing about that makes it, while it is still a shock and a scandal and an outrage, maybe not surprising, is that, as you know, of course, Blade Runner's esteem really grew over time. That feels to me like a time capsule. Like if you went back and redid it and people brought to that moment in time how they feel about that film now and its standing as a sci-fi classic, it would be different. But that wasn't the instant in real time reception.
It was considered kind of a bomb.
When are we going to do the Blade Runner Rewatchables? Specifically the Ridley Scott director's cut. Sign me up.
How many different cuts are there?
There are a lot of cuts of Blade Runner, but that would be the one that we should do, I think.
So that Oscars with The Fugitive, Hanks wins for Philadelphia, Daniel Day-Lewis, The Name of the Father, Lawrence Fishburne, What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, Schindler's List, and then Anthony Hopkins, The Remains of the Day.
All right, that's pretty stacked field.
That's the thing. Like he just had bad luck with some of these. I still feel like a part like Indiana Jones is just so much harder than people realize that to pull off the charm of it. It's weird because Brad Pitt gets credit for this.
I agree.
With some of these parts now. Like even F1, I don't think he's going to get nominated for F1, but he got credit for like, oh, only Brad Pitt could have done this. Ford, it took a while. I just think there were too many good actors. I almost feel like he didn't get the credit. And he also didn't have like his version of Dances with Wolves or those big like epics where everybody just jerks each other off about how, this is the Out of Africa thing though.
Yeah.
So this was his best chance, I think, for an Oscar. And what happens is this is this weird time in the Oscars when they got carried away with these big sweeping epic, picture with big directors or big actors. And Out of Africa wins Best Picture and Best Director.
Right.
And then William Hurt wins for Kiss of the Spider Woman, which he's really good in that. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but like...
I think there's actually a better case for Witness being robbed in the movie than Ford for actor.
I think both are
people didn't love Out of Africa when it came out.
Yeah.
Like, you can go back. I was reading it last night. I was like, I always thought that movie was slow and ponderous. I never understood the Redford character. And then you read the reviews and people were going, yeah, it's good. There's some good stuff in here, but it wasn't like a multiple Oscar winner type of movie.
Yeah, and it dominated the Oscars. You have something like The Color Purple getting shut out after getting all of its nominations. Witness got 8 nominations, 1, 2 cinematography and editing. But like Peter Weir, I think also has a really strong case. He's been nominated multiple times over the years for Best Director, but this is like a unbelievably directed movie. And I think especially it was really fun to prep for this pod because I love the movie. I've been watching this movie since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
And diving in, like learning more about it, watching, the bonus features on the DVD, and they put out the Arrow 4K Ultra a couple years ago. So checking out like the specials on that, you hear Peter Weir talk about the movie and like, on the one hand, he'll say, I'm like a little surprised that this is a movie that people still love so much. I didn't think it would have this kind of lasting impact and legacy. But then when he talks about every single choice he made and the level of care and what he did, the choices he made in particular to like amend the screenplay. Oh, sorry, I said cinematography won. It didn't. Screenplay won.
Yeah.
John Seale did not win for cinematography. He was nominated, but he didn't win. It won for screenplay, and it's an incredible screenplay. But Weir did so much work to amend the screenplay and dampen down the dialogue and really like orient the movie and root the movie in restraint and these glances and these longing looks. It's just a beautifully and impeccably shot and directed film. So, Sidney Pollack won for Out of Africa, and that's not like crazy or anything, but would you not have picked Weir?
It makes sense in the 80s just because of the stuff they rewarded. It makes no sense now because I don't think culturally that movie really matters. And I think it's surprising looking back at what it won. But I think watching this again and then reading some of the stuff, which I'd never like deep dived, like the actual research, which we have to do in the Rewatchables. Some of the things they cut out, some of the dialogue they cut out, and how he's always like deferring toward like, I want this to be visual. I want to center on the reactions. And they don't really do this anymore in movies with very few exceptions. Everything is so dialogue heavy now. This movie is so good. Like that, like one of the best scenes we'll do in Rewatchable scene is when the little kid Samuel sees Danny Glover's picture.
Historic.
And Ford just lowers his finger.
Yeah.
It's just that this movie has like 19 things like that. Just these little touches that just make it special.
You could go through start to finish and you're never going more than 12 minutes without a moment like that.
Yeah.
Where you're just completely gripped and oriented and like you have your mooring because of somebody's eyes. And I think to your point about how that feels like really of a moment in time. Like, I mean, there are a lot of good movies and a lot of good TV right now, but I think undeniably there's an aspect of like, can we trust our audience as much in the sensory overload era? People are on their phones, people are distracted. You need to have all of these like exposition dumps.
That's a good point. If you're on your phone during that Danny Glover scene, you miss what happened. You're like, wait, what happened? And then you just missed it.
But in this era where people are actually paying attention to the beautiful art in front of them, something like, and again, I know we'll talk about this more later when we go through all of the scenes and all of the great choices, but something like Peter Weir it's fascinating to hear him talk about this, saying that there were multiple pages of dialogue at the end of the film where Rachel and Book basically explain to each other what they're thinking and
By the
feeling.
way, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Why did these two never exchange more than like 5 words together?
I know. It's a very like base animalistic bond. But the fact that like Peter Weir's just like, if I've done and this is literally what he says, right? Like if I've done my job by that point, you should know how they feel about each other and how they feel about the choice that they've had to make and what they're leaving behind and what they're each moving toward. And the fact that you can see that in a little smile, but also like the glassy eyes because of the emotion and the tears, who looks away, who looks back, when are their eyes meeting, when can they not bear it?
Him and Samuel at the end.
Oh my God.
How many times have you cried during that scene?
Goodbye,
John Book.
Goodbye, John Book. I am moved to a lot of different powerful feelings and emotions watching Witness. Sometimes tears, sometimes more private things, but all very powerful.
I love how they're just hanging out, and it's not like. I think in a bad movie, a mediocre movie, or even a decent movie, there's Harrison Ford's character is saying, "Now, Samuel."
Yeah. Remember what I told you.
You're going to be great. Remember what I told. Like, it's just like, here are my words of wisdom. And they just don't do that.
No.
He just like kind of puts his head against them.
Yeah. It's like a very subtle, I love the nuzzle. I love the little head pat. It's a very subtle film. It's very restrained. It's like kind of delicate, but in a beautiful way. And in a way, of course, that is very like entwined with and connected to the contrast between the worlds in the film. But the fact that like, when you go to Lancaster and everything at the lap farm in an Amish country, it's not suddenly like big city cop energy has seeped and saturated every scene of this experience. It's like, no, there is, what do we hear over and over again? You look plain. There's like a plainness to it. There's a pastoral quality. We'll have multiple moments. Maybe my favorite example of this actually is like we're saying that the barn raising is a paragraph in the script. It's like, I mean, how long is that scene?
It's like 5 minutes. Yeah.
And you're just watching people exist in a community. And it's really gripping.
There's so many smart little things. I really love this movie. I've watched it a bunch of times.
It's so good.
Even when they're building the barn, they take the break and they're all eating.
I love that.
And Alexander Goodenough's character.
Oh, yeah.
He just looks over and he's just staring at, you're so used to all these movies where it's like, oh, this guy's going to be a dick to John Book and they're going to have a little thing. And it never happens. They're always just kind of sizing each other up. Book clearly knows, like, I'm going to leave here and this guy's going to marry Kelly McGillis' character. And that's how we all know how this is going to play out, but we have to like do this little dance. And I think movies fuck that up all the time though.
Yeah. You're like luxuriating in a moment.
You'd be like, I don't know who you think you are, English. Like we just would have had like a terrible scene.
Yeah.
And they just don't do it.
Yeah,
and
every character that's true for,
and
right?
I kind of like Daniel. Like,
well, you have to.
I don't know if they had the same spark, to say the least.
As Kelly McGillis and Harrison fucking Ford have?
I don't think the fire was burning as bright, but I think he'll be a good stepdad to our guy Samuel.
He will. I think that moment, like the there's a lot of like resisting Daniel's presence, right? Because you're so swept up in the love story. As Book and Rachel are just becoming like enraptured with each other, you want to watch them fall in love. You want to see them find a way to be together, even though just like they know in the back of your minds that it can't happen. And so when Daniel comes over and he's like, I'm sitting here kind of like awkwardly in silence, swinging on the porch with you, you're like, man, I'm really not feeling it. And also clearly neither is Rachel, but you never lose sight of the fact that that's the thing that makes sense and that's probably where we're going to end up. And that closing shot of Book driving away and Daniel walking.
That's another one where they don't stop. We don't have like one last thing, like take care of them. No. Nothing. We just like,
you just see the brake lights.
Yeah.
Like, they had a little brief moment, but we didn't need to actually hear it. We understand what has transpired. Great.
Well, another great thing about this movie, we enter a world. I always talk about this, almost 400 movies. These movies where we just go into this place that I don't really understand or know that much about.
Yeah.
We're in this whole Amish society for 100 minutes. And it's really riveting. And
oh my God.
You're watching and they do such a good job of checking every box of everything you need to understand about this little world that we're in.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I feel like I get it.
Yes.
And I understand why it's so damaging to have an outsider and all of these things from the outside world come in there, and why they're all like, what the fuck? Like this, he just punched some bully
Great scene.
on the street.
Great scene.
We don't do things that way.
Yeah.
We would rather just, we're pacifists. And then there's this whole pacifist versus violence theme that is just perfectly done.
Yeah, like it feels like anything from the townies with the ice cream cone on Daniel's face to Samuel finding the gun to obviously the Western showdown at the end when the dirty cops all arrive. The number of moments where like I love the phrasing, that Eli uses, the gun of the hand, like this incursion of violence in this peaceful, quiet world. And the moments where Book, like he's so ashamed when Rachel catches him and Samuel with the gun, and he's like, right, no, I get it. But then when he has to go into town, he's like, I need that back. Like, I haven't given that up. I have just decided that I will respect your way of life while I'm here.
Yeah.
But then obviously it's on the heels of, learning about Carter and the call with Schaefer. But when he sees the town, he's mocking these people who he has come to form an attachment with. And he has embraced even though it's not the choice he's going to make, it's not right for him, he has embraced their life and come to value and understand
about it a couple times.
Well, no question. When he's like, Rachel,
he's like, you know what? I could just make some corn and milk some teats.
It's 4 a.m., Bill. It's time for milking.
Yeah.
It's time for milking.
I'll work on young Samuel, teach him some stuff.
Dude, the moment where, no matter how many times I see this movie, when he goes, we'll obviously talk about the sponge bath in great detail, but after that, next morning when he goes and he seeks her out, and they're like separated by the wire. He's in that gorgeous like forest green shirt. He just looks so fucking hot. It's insane. I should have a more elegant way of saying it. I don't. He just looks so fucking hot. It's crazy. He's like, Rachel, if we had made love last night, I'd have to stay or you'd have to go. And I'm like, then go! Go, Rachel! Look at him!
Take him.
Go!
He said, if we had made love last night, we would have had to make love another 8 times because that's how I roll.
Because it's 9 a day for me, or it's not a day well spent.
I didn't know if you could handle my 9 a day.
He's a big city cop. She's got a sister in Baltimore. This is a really unexplored element of the film. What's Rachel's sister doing down in Baltimore, my home? Rachel, Book, and Samuel, let's go live a life down in Baltimore. It's a great place.
Yeah, your husband just died. Let's time to change life a little bit. Let's go.
Exactly.
I love entering a world.
Yes.
I also love movies with really good scripts. And what I didn't realize until I did the research was that this is one of the most respected scripts for fledgling movie people over the last 40 years because the structure is so perfect.
Yeah.
Which it is. But I've seen this movie so many times, it never really occurred to me how perfect it is, where it's like first part, thriller, where this fish out of water, they see something bad. Like we've seen that version. Yeah. Now all of a sudden in the second part, Book is healed back to life. He's in this Amish world, and it's like, oh shit, this is a completely different movie. And then the last act is the bad people have now come to this place that was this idyllic, awesome place that I was happy in.
Yeah.
And they've upended it. And then the movie ends. And it's just first act, second act, third act, credits.
It's really tight. I mean, you hear people talk about how it was like quite long and 180 some page script and tracking for 3 hours and edited down and obviously tweaked over time. But yeah, the like genre mashup aspect of it and the need to pace it so that we feel I don't want to like step on some of the categories because I think this will come up a lot later, but I'm always kind of amazed when I rewatch it that how much time actually like is outside of Amish country before. I mean, obviously we start there with the funeral and then the train ride and everything, but we are in the like, we have had a murder. There's been a murder. We're like trying to get Samuel to ID a suspect. We're in Philly. We're in the big city, like Book's sister's house, Patti LuPone.
We go to a bar for some reason and pull somebody out.
Wild stretch with T-Bone at the bar. That's like the first 30 some minutes of the movie before Book drops them off and then passes out and ends up, and to your fish out of water point with Samuel and Rachel in the big city, the way that we're always in a fish out of water movie. It just flips. Book becomes the fish out of water.
Good point.
And like, that's so deftly, nimbly done where it turns. It's always a clash of cultures, no matter where we are in the film. It's always a matter of contrast, but the lens through which we're assessing that contrast pivots. And it's awesome.
Well, Peter Weir directed it. It's the first American movie.
Yeah.
He had done Year of Living Dangerously and Gallipoli, and but it comes into America, does Mosquito Coach, then
Dead Poets.
Neil!
One of our faves. Truman Show, Master and Commander. Peter Weir's made a lot of good movies. This and Witness and Dead Poets, I feel like, are definitely siblings. They're not even cousins. Yeah.
There's a lot of the same touches. If you watch both, you would absolutely think it was the same director for both. Even the music.
Yeah.
Some of the music parts feel the same. Some of the wide shots of the outdoors.
Yeah. There's an introspection and a tenderness. Yeah.
Like scenes without dialogue. I guess the difference is Dead Poets has like that Robin Williams, like jumpstart energy, whereas Witness, I guess, has the murder. But there's something about the way he does his movies that is really distinct to him.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anybody quite like him, just very patient, wide.
Yeah.
The actors are always, you always feel like they're in a good spot. So you have that. You have Kelly McGillis. We talked about her.
Yeah.
Great role. And she became a thing. Like, it was like, who's this lady? Because this movie was a big movie.
Witness and Top Gun in back-to-back years is nuts.
Yeah. But even this thing, it was like, who's the newcomer? She was like waitressing 5 months before.
This is one of my favorite anecdotes that I was not aware of before prepping for this pod, where, she's like, I was working at a coffee shop. Peter Weir, it's hysterical to listen to him talk about how impossible it was to try to find Rachel.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, basically all of the American actresses we looked at were like too hip. They were too knowing. He asked the casting director to start looking in Italy.
Yeah.
And then they found Kelly McGillis. And she's like, I was working at a coffee shop, and like Harrison Ford and Peter Weir walked in, and everyone who was there was like, that's fucking Harrison Ford.
Right.
What's happening? Like, imagine that being a thing that happened in your life.
Yeah. And then
Crazy.
she's filming a movie with them. So you have her, you have evil Danny Glover.
Yep.
Which is so funny.
McVeigh.
He's Lethal Weapon took over his life, and he made a bunch of great stuff. Everybody loves Danny Glover. Evil Danny Glover, I could have explored in a couple more movies.
Definitely. One of the like quietly great moments in the movie, because it's so sinister and borderline maniacal, is when he stops to wash his hands. It's like, you have murdered someone in a public place.
Yeah.
Get out of there. But he's like, nope.
He had time.
Tidy up. Wash up. There's something very insidious about that moment.
And then Goodenough, who then becomes Hans Gruber's right-hand guy in Die Hard. Two of the completely different role characters you could have played.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome,
he's
charismatic henchman. And then in this movie, he's all back. Viggo, they made a big deal in all the research stuff that it was Viggo's first movie. He's barely in it. He's got like 2 lines.
Yeah, he's barely in it.
He's looking handsome, though.
He looks great. It is, to me, like, as obviously a Lord of the Rings obsessive, and the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films are like sacred texts in my life, as you know.
Seeing those?
We need to stop the pod. Chris, can you power down?
I didn't realize he was in those.
Okay. The alternate history.
All of them or just one of them?
He's Aragorn. God damn it. The alternate history where he's like, I almost picked like playing a soldier in Henry V in Shakespeare in the Park, but then I did this instead and decided to be a movie actor. It's like, who would have played Aragorn if Viggo Mortensen had not been in this movie
I didn't
for
realize
3
he played
scenes?
Aragorn.
Are you doing this just to hurt me? The thing is, I actually believe that it's possible that you don't know who Aragorn is. Have you seen the Lord of the Rings movies? You've seen them.
I have not.
Are you serious?
I haven't. Didn't see him. I thought I would watch them someday with my kids, and then my kids didn't care.
Whoa.
So I don't know who's left.
Am I not one of your children?
Do I have to adopt a child to watch Lord
of the Rings with me? Okay.
You know what? Hey, if we're going to try to go for 500 movies, I guess I'm going to have to watch it.
Great. Eventually. Next year, Joanna and I have some plans for House of R, but great moment for you to dip in next year, 25 years since Fellowship.
We could do Gun to My Head month, where it's 4 movies I never wanted to watch. And then Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it wouldn't be a gun. It would be
Aragorn?
A broken blade, but that just shows me that you haven't watched.
I knew Sean Astin was in it.
Yeah, he's not just in it. He's Samwise fucking Gamgee. You're
and Elijah
killing me
Wood's
right
in
now.
it?
Yeah, he's Frodo!
Yeah.
You ever heard of Frodo?
That's all I knew. I knew those two were in it. I didn't know about Viggo.
This is very painful for me
he's
right
in
now.
this. The screenplay by William Kelly and Earl W. Wallace, which may or not be fake names. I don't know. Those are like screenwriter names you would create if you were doing it. But it was an unproduced Gunsmoke script. And then nobody wanted to make this movie forever. And then they finally made it.
Which is wild. And one of the things that's like genuinely, I think, pretty interesting about the,
it's the Amish. I don't think it's wild at all.
But you hear, that's what I was actually just going to say. Is like, you kind of hear both things. Like some of the directors who turned it down, like, it's just another cop movie. Which is objectively
definitely
not true. And then, like Fox, right, passing on it because they didn't think they wanted to like focus on like rural films and Amish culture. And it's like you hear kind of both sides of it.
I disagree with it, but I get it that a studio would be like, Amish staying away. But finally, somebody didn't stay away. 8 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actor. $12 million budget made $117.1 million.
Which is
really solid.
Yeah. And it was like the 5th week that it was in theaters that it became the #1 movie. So positive buzz, well reviewed, word of mouth, like it's sticking around. People are like, I'm going to go see Witness.
We talk about that sometimes when that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
No movie would come out and not be #1 for a couple weeks.
Right.
But that was the era. Roger Ebert loved it. 4 stars. He called it an electrifying and poignant love story.
He's correct. Yeah.
He said, Witness arrives like a fresh new day. He crushed all the terrible movies that were out. And then said, Witness arrives like a fresh new day. A movie about adults whose lives have dignity and whose choices matter to them. And it's also one hell of a thriller. Then he also said, your guy Harrison Ford had never given a better performance in a movie.
I think that's true. And I say that as the world's leading Han Solo and Indiana Jones enthusiast.
I wonder what Harrison Ford would say. I wonder if anyone's ever actually asked him
what his favorite performance is, or what he's like most proud of.
What was your best performance? If you'd won an Oscar, what should it have been for?
I think he would pick this or something in this mold, and I don't think he would pick one of his genre movies. I think his like.
You don't think he would pick K-19 Widowmaker?
It's possible. Some frankly astonishing accent work in that film. It's entirely possible.
I don't know if that movie's making it on the Rewatchables. Let's do Bad Accent Month.
What about when you hit the 600s? Like
600 maybe. I do think Patriot Games was good.
I mean,
and it's a movie that's not really on anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I mean, I'm sure it's on streaming somewhere, but
Patriot Games is really good. I think Clear and Present Danger is better.
Yeah,
but he's a great Jack Ryan.
I like both of those.
He's a great Jack Ryan.
We're taking a break and then we'll do most rewatchable scene. This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Having the right people in your corner make all the difference. Just think of all the people we cycle in and out as co-hosts here on the Rewatchables. I send texts. Hey, you like this movie? Hey, you like that movie? All of a sudden, Van Lathan's like, I love that movie. Chris Ryan's like, I love that movie. And by the way, can we do Hunt for Red October again? Like those people, State Farm is there to help you choose the coverage you need. With so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you. Go online at statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to get help from one of their local agents. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. All right, most rewatchable scene.
Okay. Can we just go through every single frame of the movie?
I'm going to try not to do that, but I did have 10 things marked. And I did really enjoy all the Amish stuff and the travel stuff in the first 10 minutes.
It's amazing.
I like when he gets on the train. I just like all of it. And I think we should have mentioned him earlier, but Lukas Haas as Samuel. It's just a great little kid performance.
It's one of the best.
I continue to think little kid Oscar should be an Oscar every year. Like
he would
10 or under, every year we should commemorate who the best little kid performance was. I like all his facial expressions. You know him right away. I like how wide-eyed he is looking out the window in the train. I love how he handles the train murder in the bathroom. Like, he's just crushing it.
It's fantastic. He's really incredible throughout the movie. I think that, we'll get to these scenes now, but the eyes, like the amount that he can express just by gazing through. Yeah,
he's a stare through your soul kind of little kid.
Really,
which is weird
because
it doesn't work as well when you become an adult actor because his adult career. Yeah. And then we'll talk about some of the stuff that happened with him, which is great. But but when you start to
Pussy
stare,
posse,
when you stare into somebody's soul as an adult, it becomes maybe more creepy than when you were 8.
Yeah. But he is, for me, no matter what, to this day, I see him in something and I'm like, it's Samuel from Witness. Like when he's in Inception, And I'm like, it's Samuel from Witness.
That's like
no matter
Patrick
what.
Fugit is like, that's William Miller.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yes.
He's in like We Bought a Zoo, and it's like, that's William Miller.
Yeah, definitely.
Samuel sees a murder.
This is just an incredible bit of filmmaking. This is great.
The toilet switch.
Yeah.
This could also go on What Stage the Best for me, but when somebody witnesses something in the toilet and then people wonder if they're there and they go stall by stall and you have to it's a great what would I do in this situation as you're watching it? I
have very few picking nits on this movie, which I think is incredible and impeccable. I have a couple actually on that front that we'll get to later. I'll save them for that category. Broadly, the scene is amazing. The suspense and tension, the shirt wrapped around the head, you flash to the knife before you know what's going to happen. You cut to Samuel's eyes through the door. The throat slice, you cut to Samuel's eyes through the door. With his like tiny, his hands are like, we know he's a young kid, but you see his little hands go to close the lock, like slide the lock, and you're just like, this is like a baby.
Right.
Like he's so tiny, and then you're so scared for him. And of course, you have the added brilliant little chef's kiss touch of the Indiana Jones homage by reaching for the hat, which is just like, they're already killing it. And you put that on top. It's just great stuff.
Now, if they had this scene, he would be on his iPad. He would have missed the murder.
Taking a shit, scrolling on TikTok.
Peeing while watching like Blue's Clues. Samuel notices the Danny Glover photo, which we discussed earlier, is a classic. Good. Harrison Ford's face.
Unbelievable.
The slow-mo walk.
Yeah.
Pulling the finger down. Just no notes.
I love the like kind of almost magnetic pull across the room.
Yeah.
Like, and it does actually slow down. The sound is kind of sucked out of the scene. It does actually go into slow-mo, but there are a couple in very different moods in these scenes, but a couple moments in the movie where like people basically feel like they are in a trance of some sort, and it's totally hypnotic. Then when you watch it, you have the same feeling as a viewer that the character has in that moment. That's really one of them. And I love the way that even though they've only been in each other's lives briefly, you have something like you're coming off the very cute little hot dog lunch, you know, right before this. And like, it's the fact that there's kind of a shorthand, right? Like there's only one book knows. He doesn't know what he's seen, but he knows what he has seen. He knows what he's communicating. And it's just very potent. Really good.
The shootout, the blood reveal and the driving exit, that whole part. I love a good blood reveal. It's like, oh my God, I didn't get shot.
Yeah.
Blood drips.
Got to pick up the dry cleaning. Drip.
The Glover showing up and him immediately recognized and just like, everything about the look on Glover's face, everything about that scene's really, it's really like smart thriller action shit.
Also, like, this is kind of because it's a serious movie, it's a gentle movie, it's an underrated, I think, comic movie. There's like obviously a lot of the humor.
Other people in the elevator.
Yeah, a lot of the humor across the film comes from like culture clash stuff, but the woman in the elevator is like, there's an active shootout and she opens the doors again and is like, wait, that's my car. And I love the way that Harrison Ford, who's so measured through most of the film, is just like, you idiot.
Right. Yeah, he's so a good, like, immediately snap actor.
So good.
I got the old Amish guy, our guy Eli, explaining to Samuel why guns are bad.
Wait, you're skipping the whole like Rachel nursing book back to health stretch? I guess that's less of a scene and more like vignettes.
That's for you.
But okay, we'll come back to it.
I'm trying to narrow it down to 10 scenes.
All right, well, we'll be coming back to that momentarily.
Eli,
put a pin in it.
Only God can take life. There's never only one way.
I love that. It's gorgeous.
What you take into your hands, you take into your heart.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about my IBM ThinkPad back when my fingers wrote.
Yep.
Every word I typed right into my heart.
The gun of the hand, the keys to the hand. I assume that this was not what you were thinking of, because as recently established mere moments ago, you're not a Lord of the Rings enthusiast, but this is like the most Frodo, Gandalf coded conversation in like the history of movies. Like, many who live deserve death, many who die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Do not be too quick to deal out death and judgment. Even the wisest cannot see all ends. No, you're not familiar? Well, that's basically what this is. So
that sounds like there's never only one way.
It's true.
Maybe Eli had it better.
Keep it in mind if you come across Gollum.
Eli's
good
character.
Opera singer. Canadian opera singer.
Your favorite scene, Book and Rachel dancing in the barn.
You skipped the milking? All right, we're hitting some, we're
I put the milking in what stage the best. Look,
okay, all right,
I could have listed the whole movie.
Fair enough. Okay, I don't want to interrupt discussing the barn scene, which is the most important scene in the history of film.
She broke the rule of the ordnung. That's another thing I like about this movie, and when there's weird phrases and words, but they're laws, but we don't know what they are. It's like, oh shit, she broke the rule of the ordnung.
Well, they speak a different language. I mean, they're speaking, they're speaking the German dialect. In trouble. Yeah. When do we want to talk about this scene in more detail? Here, later?
Now. Yeah, it also gets the Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness award because it's the only scene with music. But
yeah, absolutely. This is a fantastic needle drop.
Yeah, listen, it's on. There's some consummation, not some actual consummation.
So
she didn't get to join the 9-time club.
Not yet. She's got to wait for that. Sometimes it's hard. We have more scenes to go through. Sometimes it's hard to decide. Okay, I love a lot of these scenes, and I do love a lot of scenes in this movie. What is the pick for most rewatchable scene?
Well, I knew this would be your pick.
This is the easy, and you've done a ton of pods. I've had the privilege of joining you for the couple dozen rewatchables over the years. This is the single easiest category pick for me in any of the pods we've ever done.
Wow.
This is the most rewatchable scene because it is maybe my favorite scene in a movie ever. I texted you last night, including illustrating the arrows to the
videotaping the same different years of your life.
How many different times on my camera roll I have just filmed my TV while this scene is on? Like, I don't know why I do that. I could just go to YouTube.
Just a lunatic.
Or put in the DVD of which I have multiple copies. I don't know why I feel compelled to film it on my phone, but then I can just look at it. We haven't actually talked about this very much yet, but I think one of the things that makes this such a beautiful film, and one of the reasons it's my favorite, genuinely, is I think that this is a masterpiece as a portrait of desire, right? This movie is about yearning. It's about something that you want, but you don't know if you should have it. Yeah. And there is not a scene there are plenty of scenes in this film where that desire is palpable. We'll talk about some of them elsewhere, but this is the ultimate encapsulation of that. The fact that the music is playing because he gets the car battery going and it's not supposed to be. So that's ultimately why Eli comes up. It gives us that framework of just these people are from a different world. You can't forget that. This is another moment where you have that kind of trance, like the camera swings from Book to Rachel. The lighting is different behind her than it is from him. And she's just utterly absorbed and swept up. How could you not be if Harrison Ford was wrapping you in his arms and singing to you? I think you would just orgasm and die, basically. I think that's how it would go. Right? I don't know. Probably. Loved learning and researching for the pod that he picked the song. I had not known that. That was not a thing I knew. That
they couldn't get the rights. They had to have somebody else sing it. Yeah,
it's not Sam Cooke. It's a cover, but still. When the music kicks in and he's like, oh yeah, this is great. And then he stands up and he looks over the roof of the car and he's drumming. And then he kind of turns his head and he just stares at her for a second. That taught me what sex was, even though it's not a sex scene. It is just unbelievably powerful and incredible, and they look great. It's awkward, it's clumsy. There are moments where you think they're going to kiss and then they don't. There are moments when they're giggling, they're dripping in sweat because the barn is hot. It's just absolute perfection. Gorgeous. And he just looks so good.
It led to a possible shunning of her.
Yeah, Eli's like, you're going to get shunned. And she's, don't shame me. And she says, you shame yourself, big guy. Let me fuck Harrison Ford.
I like the whole concept of shunning. What Game of Thrones? What was what did they call it in Game of Thrones?
Shunning?
No, when she had to do the walk of shame.
Oh, the walk of shame. Cersei's walk of shame.
Wait, didn't they have
Mother's mercy. Shame, shame, shame. The shame bell.
I'm going to talk
walk of atonement.
I'm going to talk to Spotify HR.
You want to do a walk of atonement?
No, see if shunning can come back as part of the HR evaluation.
I do think they would have some notes. Yeah, and incorporating the walk of atonement.
Hey, we need to put a shunning in.
What's your sept of Baylor and what's your red keep in that scenario? I don't know.
This scene's really good.
It's great.
I put the barn raising in there because,
of course,
for some reason it's riveting.
It
shouldn't be beautiful. A good scene. It should be the scene where you go to get popcorn or pee.
It's incredible.
And plus it feels Harrison Ford, former carpenter. It feels like he's really no, guys, I got this.
That making Samuel the wooden toy, fixing the birdhouse, all of the little nods and winks to his history as a carpenter, great stuff. Daniel, in the beginning of that scene, how's your hole? about his gunshot went out your hole. It always kills me. It makes me laugh. And he's like, yeah, it's good. The hole's good.
My hole's
let me tell you about Rachel's holes. I'm about to do some exploring. And then Daniel's like, you should just fucking go then. If you're healed and you're fine, get out of here.
Yeah.
3 parts milk, 2 parts linseed oil, and some shitty tea. Pack up, let's go. I'm trying to move in. But then when they start to build this thing together, even Daniel, like when they share the lemonade, Daniel passed his book, The Lemonade, like he has been absorbed into the community. But then to your point from earlier, we shift into the lunch break and Rachel, the fact that like for us, it's wonderful. For Eli, for Daniel, for everyone else, the audacity that she pours Book's drink first, right? And then you have the great little like needlepoint moment with the woman who's like, a lot of talk. Of talk. Group chats are buzzing with talk about you and the English.
That's like your mom.
Totally.
Mallory, a lot of talk.
A lot
People
of talk.
talking in the family right now.
A lot of talk. So that scene is just beautiful. And like, it's such a great portrait of community, much like at the end when Samuel, rings the bell and everybody actually does come. Like, it's important to understand what life would be. We have moments where Rachel's like, people come in and they like want to take our pictures and they just walk in our yard and it's fucking rude, right?
Yeah.
And then you see like whether you would ever want to live this way or you agree with this way of life or you're a pacifist or whatever, you're religious, any of it. It's like you see something in that moment that is beautiful, right? And you understand why it's valuable to them.
Well, they got married. Time for everybody to chip in, build them a barn.
The Zooks need a barn, man. They need a barn.
My next scene is I just wrote down sponge bath stare down, which is apparently a great porn search.
I was afraid to Google
sponge bath stare down,
sponge bath scenes in movies on my work computer.
You get like a media virus.
I did it on my phone. Yeah,
good acting here by Harrison Ford as well.
I mean, this is another.
I really want to step in here, but just so you know, I can't. So I'm gonna look away.
This is a great part of the movie. The way that it starts with, the lightning strike in the sky, like literally the crackle of electricity in the air, right? He's on the porch, he's on the swing, looking through the glass pane.
She sees him pouring the hot water. Yeah, it's like
she like
pre-game warm-ups.
Meets his eye as she's passing through. It's an invitation.
She's working the speed bag a little bit, getting a sweat going.
Doing the lunges, stretches, getting limber, getting ready, hydrating. It's crucial. And, the fact that like she's left the door open, right?
Yeah.
She wants him to see her. And the first glimpse, he's in the mirror. And the way that she turns and just like, here I am, right? And I have decided I'm not going to let Eli or anybody else tell me like what is right for me, what I can and cannot do. There's a defiance, but also like a confidence. And of course, it's very sexy. And he is like, this is basically like, I don't know what to do. He has this look of incredible yearning and lust and desire on his face. But also then that moment where he looks down, it's like she's just consumed by doubt.
He's looking at his boner.
Well, yeah, he's like, when you said earlier that you would like let out my trousers, I know you meant the extra hem on the bottom, but I could use a little more room in the crotch.
Yeah.
I'm packing something that Jacob wasn't.
Yeah.
If we could get on that would be helpful. But like, he's consumed by doubt in that moment in a way that she actually isn't, which
could
is
that
a
have been a
fascinating
Rewatchables
thing.
character? The category,
Yes.
The Amish Rachel.
Yes.
I'm asking for it, and I don't know how to make it any more clear. Stare down.
Incorporate it
scene.
from this pod forward.
Yeah, that's that stare of like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. And then
the crowd is in their seats. Let's start. The clock's on.
We're ready. And then you like see him alone in his room.
He's just like
sitting on the bed, looking out the window, presumably when we cut away, frantically, feverishly jerking off.
No question. The masturbation.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Probably
no
loudly.
Question. Yeah. I mean,
he
would
probably
assume.
was dealing with a shunning the next day. Book kicks the bully's ass. I like this is the corniest 80s scene in the movie where we just had scenes like this.
Yeah.
I still like when he punches the guy.
And it's right on the heels of like he's learned that his partner has been killed. He's called Schaefer. That phone call is great.
He's a little angry.
Great stuff. And I like when he's like, Eli's like, this isn't our way. And he's like, but it's my way.
It's my way.
Great.
Motherfucker.
It's great.
Bad guys show up.
Yep.
Samuel doing the runaway stop.
You're skipping the kiss?
We're going to get to the kiss later.
Okay.
It's a different category.
Okay.
Samuel running away, but then stopping.
Yep.
We get cows. It's a chase scene, but cows like really involved for real.
Yeah.
We get a corn murder.
Yeah, the corn silo. Iconic.
Danny Glover gets it.
Yep.
Samuel rings the bell.
Yep.
And then And then our
Schaefer
guy Paul,
succumbs.
the bad guy,
Yeah.
a little moral reckoning for him.
Yeah.
Unusual movie choice for the this is where the guy usually shoots himself in the head.
Right.
Or he gets shot because he's holding a hostage.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, what happened to me? Yeah. And he just sinks to the ground. He's like, God, I got, just take me away.
Well, like
we see him in the car in the next scene. He's kind of stealthing there.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is just in the back seat, just like, what? I can't believe I'm going to jail.
The phone call in the prior sequence where Book is like, you know, you lost the way, like kind of calling back to this lesson that clearly Paul had been the one to impart on Book in the first place. That was really interesting. The whole final sequence, from the moment like the car inches up the drive and then recedes from view and you just hear the sound of the tires on the pavement, like it is just so good. The corn silo, to me, Fergie suffocating to death in the corn silo, that is like a really iconic movie death. That's like just so, I think the way that they use...
It's an all-timer.
Using the setting in a way that makes sense, right? Like I
had this for picking nits. I'll just do it now.
Tell me.
Not sure you'd die.
You would suffocate.
You just got to stay above the corn.
I think the thing is that it's less, I mean, ultimately he is buried by the corn, but I think it's less that and more that just the air. He can't breathe the air when he's trying to get a breath.
The corn air?
Yeah.
So it's like
it's like all the fibers.
Because the other death that's
air.
like this is Hand That Rocks the Cradle when Julianne Moore, the Rebecca De Mornay rigs the glass house. What are those called? The greenhouse?
Yeah, the greenhouse. Yeah.
And all the glass breaks on her. She's like, ah, and it just somehow dies. It's like, would you die? Or like.
But there's no way out, and the air is not breathable, and it's falling. The corn is falling for so long. I buy it. I believe it.
I think you would die.
Oh, I would be gone.
The moment
instantly.
the air got weird, I think the corn air, you get like some new form of COVID. You get corn COVID.
It's like 3 degrees north of like my ideal temperature in here, and I'm about to die just from this. The corn silo, it's a wrap. But one of the great little like nuggets.
I'm gonna fix that as we're talking.
Great,
my fancy controls.
Look at this. Had I but known, I would have asked an hour ago. I loved learning that McPhee was supposed to be killed by a mule. He was so it was going to be farm death after farm death, and then Harrison Ford is like, "No, I'm going to shoot this guy."
Yeah,
like I didn't come all this way to not shoot this guy, but I like that we got both. I like that we got Book having to no functional fixedness. He had to innovate. He had to use his surroundings. He had to use what he had learned. You know, there was a scene earlier where Samuel takes him the beautiful little scene with the kittens and they're down in the grass. He's like learned about the farm. He spent time milking and learning about the way of life, and he knows he's hiding, but also he's like, wait, I can like lure him in by dropping the corn and do this. And then it's like, I'm going to go and dig out the shotgun and shoot McPhee.
He learned some Amish skills.
Exactly.
He used his things. All right, so you have the barn scene.
Well, that's
I left out the farewells with the goodbye jumbo, but we talked about that already.
That's a beautiful one. Okay, so you didn't have the kiss because you want to talk about it elsewhere. You didn't have milking, which is sad, but will we have another opportunity to talk about you never had your hands on a teat before, not one this big?
We will.
Okay, great. As long as that's going to come up again, I'm content.
I'm going hot take. I really like the bad guys showing up as my favorite part of the movie. It's like the
final shootout.
I love the corn.
It's great.
I like how Weir films everything. I like how you always know where we are. I like how they use Samuel as like, oh God, you just assume he's just going to wander back in and get shot.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really fun. All of a sudden, it's a thriller again out of nowhere.
Yes, I love.
You've calmed me down. I'm in my whole Amish world,
true.
and then the switch flips again, but in the right ways.
Well, and you have the moment too with the payphone call where Schaefer's like, "We know where you are." But my read on that is they do not. They only learn where he is after because he punches the townie, and then we see the like local guy who's like, "This is bad for business. Tell the cops." So that's how they learn. So it's a mistake ultimately. But Book is leaving. Like he is leaving. He's said his goodbyes. They've had their final night, which I guess we'll talk about elsewhere. And the fact that it's such a near. Like the fact that that almost didn't happen, that confrontation in that place in that way, but they made it there just in time to challenge him. It's really good. I like to when
notice
Schaefer
how it's getting colder in here.
It feels great. Schaefer taking Rachel hostage. And I love this little moment there where Schaefer and Book are just screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Like, let her go, Paul.
Harrison Ford's really good at when he's angry. You really feel like he's actually angry.
Really great. I can't believe you're not picking the Wonderful World barn dance. I can't believe it.
You know why? You know why I'm not picking it? Because I'm a man.
And men don't like sex
it's a scene for you and my wife. It's my wife's favorite scene too.
I would expect so, because she's a woman of taste and
What's
character.
the most 1985 thing about this movie?
Yeah.
So Book makes a honey that's great coffee joke.
Yeah.
Which I think was an ad back then, but I couldn't find the ad.
Folgers.
Yeah.
And apparently Harrison Ford wanted to do this because he had gone out for that commercial. And so it was like a little bit of a nod to a commercial that he couldn't.
In 2025, that joke makes no sense.
Great moment, though, because they're like, we don't know what you're talking about because we don't have a TV, so we don't watch commercials. Perfect. And he's also just very charming as the coffee salesman. My two nominees for this are, and I think ultimately the 84 thing about the movie, 85 thing about the movie released, is kind of hard because like everything in Amish country is a time capsule of a different moment.
I have an answer I didn't give you yet. What were your two?
Okay, my two nominees for you are either just Eileen Book, the sister character, full stop. Like everything. The mullet, she's in a bathrobe in basically every scene.
I have a guy over.
Fred, you got a man in the house and the kids are upstairs. There's a deleted scene where her kids are with Samuel at the kitchen table and they show him Donkey Kong. He gets to play Donkey Kong and it's like,
that would have been 1985.
Count Chocula, Sun-Kiss Can, all of that. So it's either that or the fact that Book calls Carter and is basically like, get rid of the files, like hide the files. And then for the entire movie, Schaefer, McPhee, and Fergie can't find them because the address was only written on a piece of paper. Like that just wouldn't happen now. It's in the system. It's in the cloud. Like it's somewhere. Yeah. What's your pick?
Good candidates. That is not the answer.
Tell me.
So the score by Maurice Jerry.
It's a beautiful score.
Electronic score.
Yeah.
Which somehow won the Oscar.
You don't like
I just don't think in 2025 that's the score. It feels very 1980s, trying to like, oh, look how cutting edge our electronic score is.
Huh.
And now when I hear it, I'm like, that feels like 1985 to me. It just wouldn't be in a movie now. It's weirdly good and completely dated and rooted in the exact era that they made it.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the score. I think it's like very...
Just wouldn't happen now.
Yeah, it puts you in the mood. But yeah, it is of a moment of time. Okay.
Well, we have the most important category of this podcast coming up. I'm going to shock you with my answer. Have to take a break. All right, I know everyone's on the edge of their seat. Not many people have a category named after them in the Rewatchables. You have the Mallory Rubin Award for Did This Movie Need a Better Sex Scene?
Yep.
I can't think of a better movie for this question than Witness.
Yep.
What's the answer?
I think I'm about to stun you. Because my answer to this prompt is almost always yes. Because I don't think you've ever answered no. I like to watch people fucking movies.
You've never said no.
And I think that Harrison Ford is the hottest person who's ever lived. He's my number one all-timer. And I like to watch him have sex in movies. And as we've discussed before on other pods, it's actually really rare for Harrison Ford to have like a graphic sex scene in a movie. Like when he's pumping away in Presumed Innocent, you're like, I don't actually see this a lot. There's a lot of sex in his movies, but not a lot of like overt sex scenes. I think the answer to did this movie need a better sex scene is no. I think it is a perfect choice. And it's fascinating to learn that the script had a sex scene in it. Obviously, they fuck after the kiss. We don't see it. And I think that's the right choice because the movie is, as we have discussed, it's about the buildup. It's not actually about the culmination. It's about the longing and the wanting and the yearning and the craving and the thinking and the wondering what would it be like. It's about all of the little moments where they're either Rachel's sponging him or he's watching her sponge herself or they're dancing in a hot bar and dripping sweat or she watches him, she hands him the lemonade and he takes it down in one gulp and it's like dribbling down his chin and she's just like, I need a private moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's about. Watching them kiss, I think, tells us that watching them fuck is not the point. It's about all of the moments that lead up to it. What do you think?
I think that's the right answer.
Yeah.
There could have been a book solo scene they could have added that would have been pretty traumatic. They could have had the 5-minute postscript of Book's back in Philly, and then the movie ends with Alexander Goodenough just having sex, and she's just staring in the ceiling, thinking a book.
Look at a little thought bubble.
Yeah, that's just the ending. Just her looking like
fucking
this.
book and a
like
bale of hay.
I think it's the right move.
Yeah.
What stage the best? We mentioned the script and some of the choices, especially the last 15 minutes. I'll start here though. And I know you have a bunch. Try not to have too many. How many do you have?
Only a handful.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What stage the best? There's a moment where Harrison Ford's holding a cat, and you held the screenshot. You sent the screenshot of that to me yesterday, and you said, "This picture is the highlight of my life."
I believe what I said was, when I die, just assuming I'll be dead before you and you'll be at my funeral.
Very possible.
It's entirely possible. I think it's likely. When I die, put this on a tapestry and drape it over my casket. I believe what I texted
like one
you.
of those homemade vinyl posters.
I would like you to consider that a formal request, and I would like it to be honored.
Did you feel like he liked holding the cat? Was it a loving hold of the cat?
I feel like someone who made the movie was like, we don't have a sex scene, but we should see Harrison Ford stroke a pussy at some point. You know, we should probably see that. Let's find a different way.
To get some pussy. I had Dirty Cops.
Yeah. Yep.
Just in general in any movie I like, but I like the concept here of they lost the meaning that John Book said.
Lost the meaning. Yeah.
Paul lost the meaning. What do you have? Give me a couple.
Okay, we already talked about just Harrison Ford's 1980s, just the best decade, and the early 80s, mid 80s, best stretch ever. We already talked about just the restraint in the filmmaking, the focus on the eyes, the faces, the glances, the number of moments. Like an example we haven't talked about yet actually is when Book wakes up from being nursed. And Rachel's kind of fallen asleep, and it's just he's on his side, so it's just one eye looking up from the pillow. It's like, we have it with Samuel, with what he has witnessed. We have it in all of the looks that pass between Book and Rachel. It's just like incredible. The portrait of desire and all of the little moments building toward this thing that they know they can't have. I think that something we haven't talked about yet, because we didn't really talk about the like opening funeral scene in great detail or the nursing scenes, is like the visual choices with the lighting. John Seale and Peter Weir both talk about how there was like literally a Vermeer exhibit at the Philadelphia Museum of Art at the time. So they like went to see all these paintings of the Dutch masters and decided to basically light the movie that way. So the number of scenes where there's just an oil lamp, or there's just like a little bit of light coming from the left side through a window, and the way that sort of heightens the like naturalistic setting and your belief of like where you are there, and also then of course helps to heighten this like clash of big city hotshot cop coming into Amish country. That's all really, really great. I guess another thing, we've kind of talked about this, but like the casting, I mean, obviously like you don't have to be a genius to put Harrison Ford in your movie, but putting him in this role is inspired. And obviously, and he talks about like, I was coming off Temple of Doom, like I wanted to do something different. But the rest of the cast, like discovering Kelly McGillis, Lukas Haas is 7 and 8 years old when he's making this movie. Alexander Gutenov is a defector and a ballet dancer.
Right. Lukas Haas could have ruined the movie if he's bad in it.
Yeah.
If we don't like Samuel, the movie falls apart.
Exactly. Jan Rubes is a Canadian opera singer. It's like a lot of the people in the movie had basically no experience, and they have to share air with the most powerful movie star in the history of the world. Like the fact that works and is so the balance and calibration is so expert is like really astonishing.
I had for What's Age the Best the fact that Lukas Haas eventually became the right-hand man in Leo's Pussy Posse.
Yep.
Would not have predicted that from the little Amish kid.
No.
He was basically the, the Scottie Pippen to Leo's MJ.
Yeah, definitely.
Or was Tobey Maguire Pippen? Maybe he was Horace Grant.
Yeah.
He might have been Horace Grant.
I think Toby might have been Pippen in that scenario.
But that's how he had this whole second life, as it was like Toby, Leo, Lukas Haas. I think Kevin Connolly was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Couple others, but yeah.
Great stuff.
It's 4:30. Time for milking is just really funny.
Sensational. That whole scene is great.
You've never had your hands on a teat before?
Not one that big. And then the Eli's
you ever heard the word teat?
Teat, sure. Yeah, of course. Teat, yeah.
I like when they call Ford the English.
The milking hat.
Alexander Goodenough. This is a What's Age the Best.
Yeah.
Just a Wikipedia deep dive of him. What happened to him?
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, so he comes in, he dates Jacqueline Bisset, the single most beautiful woman who ever lived, or at least in the top 5.
Yeah.
And he's with her for most of the 80s. He's in Die Hard, but apparently just had like this massive drinking problem.
He died really young.
And died of alcoholism, basically.
Very sad.
Like in his early 40s. But it was a way more interesting 10 minutes than I was expecting. And then no actual Amish were in the film because they do not like to be photographed.
Right.
But
yes,
they were all at the filming, kind of watching and surveying, but you couldn't film them.
I like the little nuggets, like Peter Weir saying, yeah, they were watching when Harrison Ford punched the townie and they were all like, see that? But like, yeah, the fact that they had a lot of the extras are Mennonites because they would be willing to participate, but the Amish wouldn't was interesting.
What's age the best? Just them not filming any dialogue with the last scene with Book and Rachel. Is it what's age the bester?
It's horrible to think about the alternative where they just talk to each other for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Big Kahuna Burger Award, best use of food or drink. I mean, this is the corn drop.
Oh, yeah. I guess it is.
We have a murder with food.
You're right.
There's a lot of other good options, but there is a corn murder.
That this could be where we talked about the milk scene.
No, the milk scene's great, but we have a corn murder. That has to win.
Yeah, you're right. Using corn as a lethal weapon is
Great Shot Gordo Award, most cinematic shot. I think Sponge Bath, all the way they're using the cameras and the mirror and the lighting and
I mean,
that would be my vote.
Who am I to argue? I think you could pick that. I think you could pick the look that the book gives Rachel from over the roof of the car in the barn. This was where I was going to highlight and toast young Lukas Haas and his eyes.
Yeah,
I think that, and it's actually I think really fascinating to hear John Seale basically like because this is I think one of the most like iconic shots in movie history. Just his Samuel's eyes through the crack in the door.
Oh yeah.
And John Seale. He's basically like, this shot is out of focus, and I never forgot it for my entire career. Like the director is always going to pick the best performance, not the crispest shot. And I left this movie and I was like, every frame has to be perfect. Like you can't miss it once. But the stories about Peter Weir going to young Lukas Haas and saying, because he didn't want him to see the scene. He didn't want to scar him by showing him a fake murder. And so instead, he went to him and said, you're letting the movie down. I need more. I need you to imagine the most terrible thing that you could possibly think of. I'm not going to show you a clearly fake murder, but I am going to make sure you're in therapy for the rest of your life by putting the burden of this entire film on your shoulders. So that fear in his eyes is basically because Peter Weir was like, kid, you're going to fuck up the entire movie.
So when you were 8, that would have been like Cal Ripken getting hurt? What would it have been?
Oh, man. Yeah, that would have been some real terror.
Bobby Orr tearing his knee again. The Chess Rockwell Brocklanders Award, best character name. John Book's pretty good.
I think it's got to be John Book. Yeah. Perfect.
I threw in, I didn't tell you this one, the Ed Norton Reverse Dunk Award for did this movie need a random sports scene?
Oh.
It's only an hour 42, something like that. Could we have snuck in a little, the Amish throwing the football around?
Yeah, little ball.
Maybe Daniel and John Book having a catch, and he's like, can't really throw it, and Daniel's just whipping, or maybe there's a touch football game with the Amish all wearing hats.
That would be great.
Or maybe they're just playing dominoes. I don't know. The Amish could have been doing something fun.
I like this. Seeing Book and Samuel Bond tossing around the ball.
Shuffleboard table.
That would have been great.
The Amish just love shuffleboard.
I'll take your word for it.
Darts? Maybe some darts? All right, you have a choice for a flex category. What is it?
Chris is not here with us today, and so I have decided to honor him by doing the Sean Penn I Brought My Own Pack Award for excellence in on-screen smoking.
Yeah.
Because the first scene after the climactic shootout and Schaefer, the Book besting Schaefer, we pan all of these cars, all of these cops, and Harrison Ford, the coolest person who has ever lived, effortlessly cool, is just leaning casually against the car, smoking. And
he's firing a lung dart. I did notice that. Yeah.
It is so clearly just Harrison Ford enjoying a cigarette.
Yeah.
And it is perfect. It is perfect. Yeah.
Butch's Girlfriend Award for a weak link of the film.
This I had a hard time with this.
I have one.
Tell me.
Hey, Rachel. You're a grieving widow. Why does it seem like you're in the stepdad market pretty fast here? Maybe can you grieve your dude for like a month? I mean, this is like...
Counterpoint.
She's on Tinder, Amish Tinder, basically.
She's not.
Daniel's already lining up. She's giving John Book the googly eyes.
Yeah. Okay. You're wrong.
Jacob's
about this.
in the dirt. Like, I'm not even decomposed yet. What are we doing?
All right. Here's the counterpoint. Here's why I think you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
She has no interest in Daniel. Daniel, this was one of my picking nits, actually, is that Daniel literally doesn't even wait until after the funeral. At the funeral. At Jacob's funeral, he's hitting on Rachel. He's putting the moves on Rachel.
The Amish move fast. You got to be married in the Amish community.
Apparently so. Rachel is not interested. It is not about her moving on quickly. It is simply that John, the appeal of Harrison Ford is it's impossible to resist.
I think she's at the stepdad store.
She takes off the bonnet, the marital bonnet, specifically to go hook up with Harrison Ford. She didn't take that bonnet off for fucking Daniel.
How you feel like Jacob's feeling in the ground?
I think he's like, I also would have fucked Harrison Ford. I get it.
Yeah, she could have had 10 seconds on when Jacob died. It rocked my world.
They moved on from Jacob quickly. It's true. You're right.
She didn't even seem that sad after the funeral. She's like, I'm going to go to the train. Whoa.
What do we know?
On an Amtrak.
What do we know about Jacob? What do we know, really?
Jacob might have sucked.
Yeah, unanswerable question.
Did you have a weak link or no?
I have one. I didn't feel like super strongly about it, but I don't know that John Book, a character who I love and think is, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, really handsome. I don't know if he is concerned enough, like appropriately concerned about his partner Carter and his sister Elaine. Like
just being murdered by people looking.
Well, McPhee, okay, a cop was killed in a train station. Then McPhee comes to him and tries to kill him in the parking garage. He knows Schaefer's in it. And when he's on the phone with Carter and he's like, okay, yeah, get rid of the documents. You know, this is Schaefer's in on it. Tell no one. And it's like, what should we do? FBI, reporter? And he's just like, let me think about it. It's like, Book!
Yeah.
Let's see a little bit of urgency. To his sister, hide my car. It's like, they're probably going to open the garage.
The move is to leak to a newspaper. Get the story out.
He thought, I thought that the reply to that of like, they're going to want to talk to Samuel was like decent cover, but not
whatever.
Totally. Yeah, he's not concerned enough that these people who he loves are going to have harm befall them, which of course happens to Carter.
What's age the worst? I've never understood the Amish beards. I'm not here to judge facial hair, but just shaving the mustache but keeping the beard.
Okay. The good news is no
never
Amish
seen it work.
people are going to listen to this and be offended.
Definitely
they're not listening
They
to
probably
podcasts,
don't listen to podcasts. I've just never understood the beard.
Okay.
Nobody's tried it in the NBA. LeBron's not like, this year I have an Amish beard. I have no mustache, but I have a thick beard. I just don't get the look.
You're growing a summer beard right now. Would this have been your pick if you weren't currently in the midst of beard season?
I was thinking about shaving it, and I was just going to shave the mustache and come in with the Amish beard.
You could have done it. I see buttons on your shirt, so you're not quite plain enough.
I've just never understood the Amish beards. I have one big one, but do you have any What's Age the Worst? You love this movie.
We already talked about that. I think the Academy Awards results from this year have aged the worst. We talked about that. I think certainly racially profiling T-Bone has aged the worst. That's terrible.
I had that in Pickin' Nits, but same thing. He brings this poor Amish widow and her traumatized son to some bar in South Philly.
Horrible.
Pulls out a black guy. Is this him?
Very bad. That has aged the worst.
That was bad.
Certainly. Yeah. What else do you have? What's your big one?
This is the big one.
Tell me.
The slow motion makeout scene is bad. It's a bad scene. And she starts laughing in the middle. And I texted you last night. There's Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly flashbacks.
Yeah.
I obviously I started dating my wife in 1998. I haven't had a lot of makeout experience with different women since 1998.
Yeah.
But I did back in the day. I don't remember anyone. Well, I don't remember anyone hysterically laughing as I was trying to make out with them. I feel like I would have been completely traumatized. That's not the reaction you want when you're making out with somebody. It's just start laughing.
Well, have you considered?
Very strange.
Listen, have you considered that with love and respect, the baby blues, you look great. You're not Harrison Ford. And
so you think she's like, I think she's
like, this is
the greatest moment of my life.
This is happening. Yeah, I think it's like
so that's why she
laughter.
laughs.
Yeah, and I think there's something about their kiss that is like, almost feral, right? And I love that it is like a combination of this like sorrowful, mournful, like we know
I don't
this
like
is
it.
this
I
is
just
an
think they
end,
would have
not
been
a
going at
beginning.
it. I think they're just going at it.
They are in the next scene. They're like knocking over all of the buckets of milk and fucking in the barn.
How about this? No more laughing during first makeout scenes. Hollywood. Just get rid of it.
It's fair.
Vincent Choice Award. Are we sure this character was actually good at his job? John Book.
Yeah.
What's your plan here?
Well, I mean,
you had
he
a
did
crooked
get shot.
police force.
Yeah.
You're hiding in Amish country, endangering everybody there. You're endangering your partner.
Yeah.
You're endangering your sister and her kids.
I don't have a lot of
And you're
counterpoints
just
to
like,
this.
I'll help you make this barn today. Yeah.
He had to heal his hole.
Is that lemonade?
The lemonade looks great. It looks very refreshing.
The Ruffalo Hannah Rubinek Partridge overacting word. I'm going with Eli's overlaugh after you've never milked a teat before, and there's a pause, and then he's like, ha 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 ha.
How dare you?
Well, I'm just throwing it in there.
I didn't have
know if
one
it was
for
that
this.
funny.
I didn't have one for this. This is a hard one. It's a very like understated
Do
film.
you have a CR thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford Hottest Take Award?
I do. I don't think you're gonna like it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. Let me see if I can express what I mean here. My hottest take about the movie, despite what we talked about already, it's undeniably a thriller. I think it is a Western.
Yeah.
It is a genre mashup. Fish out of water. Love story. I don't think it's really a cop movie. Here's why. It is, of course, a movie that features cops, but the cop plot is we got to make Samuel the witness. We have to imperil Book, Samuel, and Rachel. We have to establish Book as this fish out of water in Amish country, but it's much more like mechanism and fact than core focus. Like, I don't think the movie is ultimately very interested in. We basically get one brief explanation of like what actually happened.
I don't think this is a hottest take because if it was interested in the cops, we would have spent more time in the police station and had one of those like police station scenes with people moving around and the sergeant yelling at somebody. It doesn't care about any of that.
Exactly. I think Peter Weir would like agree with this, but I think a lot of people are like, Witness is like a cop movie. I'm like, is it? I don't think of it that way.
No, it's a fish out of water movie.
Yeah.
It's like it's a reverse fish out of water.
Yeah.
Like what you said earlier.
All right, tepid take.
That wasn't tepid. I think you're right. I think people like it's like Witness and there's a gun and but you're right. It's not that movie. I think this is Harrison Ford's best part of any part he ever played.
What do you mean by best part?
I just think this is the best character role. And I'm putting it above Indiana Jones and Han Solo.
Hold on. Best performance or the character is like the most consequential?
I just think this had the most meat. I think it's the hardest part he played. That's why it's hottest take. I think it had it was the hardest thing to land the plane on. And I think only a couple actors could have played it over the years. I think Redford would have tried, but he wouldn't have had the sexuality. I think Brad Pitt could have done it. I think Leo maybe in like the mid 2000s, late 2000s, possibly.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think this is a really hard plane to land.
I agree. I mean, I don't agree necessarily that that it would be number one on the list, but I agree with everything you said about the part. And I think the performance is great. And I think he is
Think how many actors
suited.
This is in the same movie if they're just the actor in it.
You're right. I mean, the number of people who can, and the challenge of having in like a short span of time in the film to look at Rachel during the sponge bath. And then when the dirty cops arrive, like instantly go into action hero mode.
I have to trust that he's an action hero. I have to trust that he can have this connection with the little kid and with the little kid's mom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it was a really hard role.
I think that it's
I think he makes it look easy is my point. And I don't think that's an easy role.
I definitely agree with that. I don't disagree with anything you're saying about this role. I would say
Russell Crowe is the other one who could have done it.
Oh, interesting.
Proof of Life Russell Crowe, 100%.
He doesn't, he's not.
You're not a proof of lifer.
It's just not quite the same like animal magnetism when you look at Russell Crowe.
He has it in Proof of Life, though.
I guess so, yeah. I think, okay, here's my only, maybe it's not a counterpoint to your argument. I would say maybe it's the case to make like John Book, Han Solo, and Indiana Jones just 1A, 1B, 1C. is like, okay, Indiana Jones is, you could argue, the most.
I throw in Kimball just because he's so good in that.
I think you can make the case, and many people have, that Indiana Jones is the most iconic character in movie history, right? Then I think you would say about Han Solo, he's at the top of the coaching tree for the roguish scoundrel, and nobody has matched it ever.
We covered that in our 4.5 hour Star Wars pod.
Well, get ready to cover it again on Empire, which is actually Han's movie. Should have saved it for that.
Well, I saved you for that one.
Everybody who works with you and loves you and cherishes you has a, like, if you do this without me, I'll tell you I'm okay with it, but I'll carry it to my grave. And
I would never do Empire.
Witness was one of them. Empire is one of them. And as you know, Bull Durham, which I assume will be our last pod together before we both retire.
Like in 2 weeks for me. Casting what ifs.
It's baseball season.
No, now I'm energized. I got this new studio. I got my stuff.
It looks great in here, man.
Casting what ifs.
Nice. Yeah.
Redford wanted to be in the movie, approached the producers, and they kind of pushed it off because he had the reputation at that point for it. He would come in, start changing stuff because Robert Redford, kind of a dick.
This is my favorite thing you do.
It's not a thing.
Well,
it's just a fact. I'm just a student of Hollywood history.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
These guys literally were like, no thanks, Robert Redford. We'd rather find another actor.
I get it.
David Cronenberg turned it down.
That would have been, I don't understand.
I didn't understand.
I don't understand that as a potential match.
Burt Reynolds in his biography said he wanted the lead role, but backed off. That would have been terrible. Apparently, Isabella Rossellini was offered the lead and said no. I don't know. It's half-assed.
I could see that.
I'll just read this for you and you decide how you feel. Because he is, we should mention Harrison Ford, notoriously a little cranky. Mm-hmm. That's the reputation.
Part of his charm. Yeah.
When Feldman and Weir were impressed with McGillis right away, Ford took some convincing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't think she was a good choice for the role and only came around when Weir gently chastised him for not trusting the director's instincts. Yeah. And then it was like, you get a feeling from the research. I don't think that Kelly McGillis and Harrison Ford were like going to Dodger games after this movie. I think it was like, hey, nice working with you. I'll see you later.
Interesting. They have such unbelievable chemistry that like it's hard for me to imagine that being true. Like, but
good actors.
So is your read on that was about her, or that it was more of a product of like Harrison Ford being like, why can we not fill any of these other roles with like people who have acted before? I feel like it's a little more like that.
Where did we get this person?
Yeah,
she was a waitress.
Like a lot of like people who hadn't acted before.
Yeah. Best That Guy award. So John Buck's partner, he's that guy.
Carter, yeah.
Most famously in Another 48 Hours, a terrible movie that I've watched like 12 times. He's working for the Iceman. Great but one. I just know that guy's, I don't even know that guy's name. Dion Waiters Award, Evil Danny Glover's eligible.
Oh.
Just wanted to mention that.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't think he would be eligible. Okay. That's compelling. I thought this was an easy one for Patti LuPone as Book's sister.
With the mullet and...
This is a remarkable use of one of the great theater performers of our time.
It's weird because she's making movies for a couple years there because she was in that Tom Scared Vigilante movie.
Yeah. Recently starred in Agatha All Along, a wonderful MCU show that I know you watched.
It was like, is she trying to be an actor? Meanwhile, she's one of the great theater people.
Yeah. This is just like...
I vote for Evil Danny Glover.
Okay. I do like when Elaine is like, anybody who knows John knows that's a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
That's real Dion Waiters stuff to me.
Recasting Couch Director City.
You can't. Where are you going to put this other than here?
What?
You can't put this anywhere other than Lancaster or York. Where could this possibly be?
What about Roll? Have somebody for the Kelly McGillis part.
Tell me.
Well, so if you wanted to go like relatively anonymous, I think there's a Gina Davis case.
Oh.
She'd really only been in Fletch and really been in nothing, but it was just a cute tall brunette with curly hair. I like that. I think she could have been in it.
That's a good one. I mean, I think Kelly McGillis is great in this movie.
What about my queen, Michelle Pfeiffer? It's a year after Scarface.
No.
This does a lot of Michelle Pfeiffer stuff, or just a lot of like staring and longing and faces.
Sure. I mean,
things she's good at. I'm fine with keeping Kelly McGillis. I just want to talk it out.
I think that like when Peter Weir basically says that famous American actresses know too much to be believable as Rachel, he's sort of talking about like
Yeah,
Michelle
I think
Pfeiffer.
we're fine. I think Gina Davis, maybe.
That's a good one.
I'll quickly rip through some half-assed research.
Tell me.
I love Ford spent time with Philly PD Homicide. I always love that anecdote in the Rewatchables. Like,
great.
just how weird that would be for the Philly PD. Like, see,
Harrison
you know that
Ford's
actor, the
here.
Han Solo guy?
Yeah. Indiana Jones is in the car tonight.
He's going to come with us on a couple.
Yeah. I like, too, that he did the research with the ride-alongs with the cops, and Kelly McGillis went and, like, lived with an Amish family.
She lived with an Amish widow and her 7 children and learned how to milk cows and practice their dialect.
And Harrison Ford is basically like, I didn't do any research on the Amish because book's not supposed to know about them.
Right.
Which makes sense, but is also, to me, very reminiscent of, like, a young Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley, saying, like, Alfonso Cuarón asked us to all do homework assignments on our character for Prisoner of Azkaban, and I didn't turn mine in, and then my excuse was Ron Weasley would not have done his homework.
Right.
Using your character as cover for not doing it. I love it.
Harrison Ford's like, I couldn't do research. I was having sex with 9 people a day.
You try to schedule 2 research trips when you're fucking 9 chicks every day.
The Amish wouldn't have sex with me. The barn raising scene, you mentioned it was a short paragraph. And then they blew it out, but it wasn't supposed to be what that was. So the corn silo death.
Yeah.
The corn was dropped onto the actor, but there was a scuba diving regulator with an air tank underneath.
This is actually like, you hear this and you're like, it's amazing that no one died. That's insane.
Well, that's why they used an actor that I don't even know who that actor was. They're like, dude, look, it's 10% chance you're going to die in this corn silo.
Kind of crazy. Like, don't worry. We put a scuba tank there.
Yeah, there's scuba there. And
so that when you're actually about to asphyxiate, you can just reach down into the corn and grab it and it'll be fine.
That guy's now in a wheelchair. The National Committee for Amish Religious Freedom called for a boycott.
Sure.
And then our guy Kurosawa said Witness was one of his favorite films of all time.
This is one of my favorite things I've ever learned.
Unbelievable.
In prepping for Rewatchable.
What a win for Peter Weir.
Yeah. I mean, like, Kurosawa praising your movie must be like one of the greatest things that could happen to a director. I don't know. Nothing, I guess. Maybe you go on to make other great movies like Dead Poets Society. But yeah, that was awesome to learn that. I thought that was so cool.
We'll take one more break and then we'll finish. All right. Apex Mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know the answer for Harrison Ford. It's probably not this. This is tough. Maybe somewhere in the 80s for him, though. And I'm not sure.
For sure. Definitely.
This specific, but he has Raiders 2, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Jedi has come out 18 months before this. He is. I think it actually might be this.
I think there's a case because
he's the least competition.
Yeah.
For all the parts.
He got nominated for Best Actor. Like he's leveling up in terms of the prestige.
I think he's the first phone call after this movie for any movie he wants. Yeah. For a couple years there.
Yeah. I mean,
so maybe it is this.
It's hard to argue against 80, 81, 82, Empire, Raiders, Blade Runner. That's just, how does that even happen?
But if you're talking about most juice.
But then you build up toward it also after doing all those things.
Yeah. After
being a Han Solo and Indiana Jones and Deckard. I got nominated for Best Actor for playing John Book, and this movie that everybody passed on and didn't want to make got nominated for 8 Oscars and made $117 million, like, because I'm in it.
I'm a hero for the Amish.
Yeah. No.
McGillis, no, it's Top Gun.
Top Gun, yeah, for sure.
It's her putting on the sunglasses in the elevator trying to get frisky for Cruise. We covered that in the Rewatchables a long time ago.
One of my favorite Rewatchables
2 studios
ever.
ago.
Oh, yeah.
A great one.
Yeah, another life.
Amish movie characters?
I cannot think of anything else that would be quite at this level.
I think it's a yes.
Yeah.
Evil Philly Police.
Can't be.
It probably can't be, but I also couldn't think of another one.
Seems impossible.
How about Corn?
Silos.
Apex Mountain for Corn. Corn actually murdering somebody.
With love and respect to the Apple TV Plus show Silo that I do enjoy. It's good. Certainly for Corn Silos. I think this is number 1.
Not sure about Corn.
Sponge Baths?
Corn Silos, yeah. Sponge Baths.
It's got to be this, right?
I had some questions about the sponge bath for later, but we can do it now.
Tell me.
It's just the top of the waist sponge bath? There's not...
I got to be honest.
We thought sponge baths were kind of like a full body experience.
I had some questions about that too, especially like it's warm, it's sticky, it's sweaty. I think if you're about to be intimate with someone, you'd want to do some rinsing in some other areas. I think that would be my note for Rachel. But, you know,
If you're going to go sponge bath, top half body, lower half body, I would feel like lower half would be the focal point, maybe.
I think you do it all, ideally.
That's what I always thought was a sponge bath.
I think you do it all.
Yeah. She had like a half bath.
Well, when she was sponging Book, when he was being nursed, you know, he's got the poultice and the tea, and she's dabbing him. That was presumably all above the waist. I don't think she went below the waist.
Yeah, how did John Book go to the bathroom, and was there a bedpan? It was questions I didn't even want to do, and probably unanswerable questions.
And yet here you are.
Evil Danny Glover, Apex Mountain, 100% yes.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I will submit his performance in Shooter, a movie we've already done in the Rewatchables, when him and Ned Beatty are both evil.
Great one.
I love Evil Danny Glover. Good enough. It's Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah. Lukas Haas, yes.
Philly train station movie murders.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's Blowout.
Yeah.
This is good, but I think Blowout's better and uses the station better.
Interesting. I do like the trip we take with Samuel through the station. We get to look up at the war memorial. He mistakes the Hasidic Jew for an Amishman. They make good use of the station. They're sitting, they're waiting. They've got to connect on the train to Baltimore. There's a delay, but yeah, it's a crowded field.
Viggo, it's definitely him playing Oregon. What's the guy's name?
Oregon.
Who's
Aragorn?
Aragorn.
So when I say to you, the return of the king, it means nothing to you.
Nothing at all.
Okay. Well, that's a shame.
Lukas Haas, I think it was
it's this.
A 2001 Victoria's Secret thing that him and Leo were invited to.
That's fair. It could be any Pussy Posse escapade is probably truly his apex, but it could be this. What about Peter Weir? That's a hard one.
I think it's Dead Poets.
I think so too, because this is his first American movie. So even though this was really successful and well received and heavily nominated, when he then is nominated, what is that? 4 years later? 4 years later, he's nominated again for Best Director.
Yeah,
for Dead Poets. That's probably. I
think that movie had, as much as I love Witness, I think Dead Poets has a little more juice. Even in the last 35 plus years with the cast it had.
They're
and
both great.
The meaning for Robin Williams' career. Both of them are great, but I think Dead Poets, it's an interesting one. I think both of them have held up spectacularly well, which is crazy.
I know.
This is the 80s.
Yeah.
Cruiser Hanks?
I think Cruise could be Book. I think he could be.
So I went Hanks.
For Book?
Yeah.
No. And as you know, I almost always pick Hanks for these. No, I don't think so. What's your case?
It's a tough one because I don't think either of them, I don't think it's a good role for either. But I think Hanks, I could believe more as a Philly cop.
Yeah.
Chiming in with the Amish thing. I think the way he would have played the longing sex stuff with Rachel, I just think he would have done it differently. It wouldn't have been as primal. It would have been more
the counterpoint to Cruise is, of course, while we both love Top Gun, we have seen Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis in a sex scene
that's
before,
why I couldn't do it.
And we know what that's like, so
that's why we couldn't do it. We already know that the chemistry thing was tough with them.
You're right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Scorsese or Spielberg? I went with Spielberg.
I think it's Spielberg. I do think the version of this that Scorsese does, where he really dials up the neo-noir thriller cop aspect, is fascinating. Did you see that he apparently turned this down? Scorsese?
I didn't know whether I should believe. I thought that set off my detector.
That was interesting to think about, but then what it really sent me down a rabbit hole of exploring was why Martin Scorsese and Harrison Ford have never worked together, which is crazy. I mean, obviously, the Cape Fear alternate history is established.
Probably a late 70s party incident would be my guess. Yeah.
This is why you're you.
Yeah.
This is why you're you. Yeah.
Also, he was with Melissa Matheson, who was with Spielberg, and Scorsese and Spielberg are buddies. There's probably some history. What role would Philip Seymour Hoffman have played? It's a tough one.
So he's 18 years old in 85. Too young to be one of the cops.
No, but you could take any age. That's part of the game. You can go old Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I could see him. The thing is, there ultimately aren't that many roles of prominence in the movie.
I was thinking Uncle Eli, and maybe Uncle Eli is not as old.
Yeah.
And he just give him a nice little beard, and he's just being Philip Seymour Hoffman. Or because then you could have had for the sponge bath dancing scene, he could have been like, "Yo, Book, how's the peeping?" How's the peeping?
How's the peeping? That would have been good. That would have been great.
Picking nits. We mentioned grabbing a black suspect out of the bar randomly and ramming him against the car. To
Genuinely
your
terrible.
Terrified Amish widow.
Terrible.
All right. So they save his gunshot infection with a poultice.
Yeah. 3 parts milk, 2 parts linseed oil.
Yeah, I did some research on this one. It was a little shaky.
I also had under picking nits. Should John Book be alive? Yeah, I mean,
or did John Book leave and then got some sort of terrible cancer like a month later?
The loss of blood alone, you just think he should have died. But and obviously, like we hear, it's warm. He's hot. He's got a fever. It seems like he should have gotten an.
He's talking gibberish.
Yeah, he's having fever dreams. Like he should have probably died from an infection. I think probably. I'm glad he didn't, but he should have.
They're like, we ran out of linseed oil. You've got to go downtown.
Yeah.
Put that with the milk.
Put some more on the cloth. Also, like, I'm glad that everything else that happens in the movie happens, but he got shot? He's like building a barn mere days.
He's fine. Yeah, he's throwing punches.
Saying he can milk a cow, sure, but like, he's hoisting Samuel up an entire level of a barn into the loft. Doesn't that hurt?
Amazing recovery. Bullet went right in and out.
Incredible.
And I did the corn suffocation thing already. What did you have? Anything else?
Okay, I do. This is where I don't want to like pick nits with the Samuel witnesses a murder scene because it's iconic, but nobody hears Samuel taking a piss. Does that make sense?
And they don't check the stall.
Yeah, and like Fergie says, because Samuel has that little kind of like little chirp he makes so that, and then McPhee is like, starts to check the stalls. And Fergie's like, I did that already. But you did it already, but did you? Did you miss the Amish kid taking a piss in an unlocked open stall? And then there's some splashing of the water at the sink, so you think maybe that would cover it. But the cop they kill stops washing his face because he's like, something's happening. He looks around. There's no sound. They should hear Samuel taking a piss. I don't think that totally
Well, to extend that, this kid who has not really seen anything in his life all of a sudden has the wherewithal to be like, I'm going to hide under. I like it. I support it, but it could be picked.
That's an interesting one. Like, would you have just kind of almost on like a base instinct
level? Would he just be like frozen, or would he actually be
to hide?
Or does the fact that he hasn't had his brain washed by Tom and Jerry cartoons and Brady Bunch reruns, that he would actually have a fresh brain to know?
That's right. Maybe the like animal instincts are purer there. Yeah. That's possible. Here's one for you.
Yeah.
We both really like the parking garage shootout. It's great. However, on the picking nits front, 2 things. One, why does McPhee go alone? Why doesn't he bring Fergie? Why don't they go all in on killing Book? Like,
tag team it.
Book has gone to Schaefer and he's like, it's McPhee. Okay. He's not here. I can't ask him. He's in Florida on vacation. And then obviously,
maybe it was bowling night for Fergie.
Sure. You're going after
softball game.
Detective Captain John Book to preserve your PCP crime ring.
Yeah. $22 million at stake.
22 mil. You have to ensure that he's killed. So this is a 2-part picking nit. Why don't they go in stronger? And then what is the explanation and excuse for McPhee leaving? That's the only chance they have to get the drop.
I have a mild picking nit with dirty cops when there's this much money. Mm-hmm. What do they do with the money? Because
this is a great question. You can't spend it, or then you know.
You'd be like, hey, I just bought this $7 million condo in Lake Arrowhead or something.
Right.
Be like, you're a fucking police sergeant. How'd you do that? So you basically just have to bury the money?
Yeah, you're saving it for retirement.
Because they cut to Paul's house at one point and he's just like having the cookout with the hot dogs.
Nice home.
Nice home.
Yeah.
But the $22 billion in PCP, which I guess they're splitting 3 ways, he's getting at least 5-6 mil. Do you just have to, is there a time where you're like, when I turn 60, that's when I'm going to buy a fucking Porsche?
Yeah. Maybe they're investing, right? Growing the fortune. They've got some like
at some point, somebody's kind of noticing something
hidden away. Yeah. Well, somebody did notice something.
Yeah. Sequel, prequel, prestige, all black cast are untouchable. This is untouchable.
Untouchable. Yeah.
I played out in my head like what a prestige, and I just like no. This is perfect. We're in and out. And
the tension,
less than
it would
2
be hard
hours.
to maintain over a full season, I think. It's so perfect. It's just south of 2 hours. Perfect.
Is this movie better with Wayne Jenkins, Danny Trejo, Doris Burke, Sam Jackson, Nell, Byron Mayo, Tony Romo, Chris Collinsworth, Daniel Plainview, Longlegs, or Wilford Brimley in The Firm?
I think the answer here is obvious.
Is it Wayne? No.
Absolutely.
You think it's Wayne Jenkins? Because the Baltimore Philly thing?
Exactly. The dirty cop ring has extended to Baltimore.
Oh, to Wayne Jenkins?
They call Wayne in as a reinforcement. Their fellow dirty cop. Wayne is a dirty cop. Their fellow dirty cop. He just gets on the Acela, gets on the Amtrak, pops up. I didn't know we were dealing with Super Milker.
Right.
Going down to the grain silo, hon? Perfect.
Look at you, fucking Amish super cop.
Raising a barn?
Yeah, you're right. That's definitely Wayne Jenkins. Short trip for him, less than an hour and a half.
Exactly. Easy.
Just one Oscar. Who gets it?
Harrison Ford. Come on.
I'm going movie.
I do think this should have won Best Picture for sure. And I think it's sort of silly that it didn't. But over the span of history, the fact that Harrison Ford doesn't have an Oscar is, honestly, I think crazy.
Well, he'll get the honorary Oscar before he, how is he old? Like 85 now?
He's 83.
83.
Yeah.
Probably unanswerable questions.
He looks great still.
I have 4 really good ones for you, but do you have any good ones? I'm happy to power through.
I mean, I have some. I don't know if they're good. I guess you'll be the judge of that. What happened to Jacob? Rachel's basically supposed to be like 28 years old. What happened to Jacob? Did he get kicked by a mule?
I had that, and then I had the
to?
asterisk of, are we sure Daniel didn't kill Jacob?
Love this. Love
It's like, hey, we were milking, and the cow kicked him in the head, and now he's dead.
This is great. I mean, it could have been illness. Obviously, he could have been sick, but like, I like the idea of some sort of farm-related incident, and that Daniel might have been orchestrating.
The thing is, well, the Amish didn't believe in any form of violence. So if Daniel had it in him, I think he punches the bully or something.
True, you're right. Daniel's not capable of it.
Here's the actual answer.
But maybe he celebrated it.
This is a society where you treat a gunshot wound with milk and linseed oil. Yeah. So Daniel probably got bronchitis and just died.
It's entirely possible.
Like, I can't breathe. They're like, Daniel, here's some butter. Put this on your forehead and then stand upside down and the bronchitis will go away.
As 2 people who are often afflicted with bronchitis, maybe we should try it. I mean,
with some linseed oil?
The 3 parts milk, 2 parts linseed oil, it worked. You know, listen, Jamie Lannister gets his fucking hand chopped off and Qyburn's like, let's boil some wine. And it was fine. It was fine.
I never liked that they did that.
I was that hand.
Did Book and Rachel have sex or not?
Definitely. This is, I think, canon.
Definitely?
Because it is in the many different featurettes on the DVD. There's a video essay called, see if I can remember all this, Show Don't Tell. And in that, it is explicitly stated that in the screenplay, there is a sex scene. So we're just decided not to show it.
Okay.
They kiss.
So apparently it's answerable.
On the hill, the inky sky, and then they go fuck. I had this on my list, but not did they fuck. My question to you for unanswerable questions is, where did they fuck? Do they just fuck right there in the grass? Like the Dothraki under the night sky?
Probably right on top of Jacob's grave. Like just really ram it home to him. Hey, Jacob, you're already bummed out enough.
It's entirely possible. I like to think that they
probably went to one of those new barns that weren't done yet.
Well,
they're like, hey, there's a barn like 5 barns down. They're not finished with it yet.
I hope they just went to the barn where the tension was so palpable during the dance.
It's a double shunning for her.
Fuck in the car. Yeah. Fuck on the hay. Fuck on the ladder, heading up to the loft. Fuck on the back of the cow.
I mean, he's got to have 9 different
times.
spots.
Like, was Daniel able to ever sexually satisfy Rachel after she had this experience with John Book? Ever.
I did think of that. Well, I said earlier the alternate ending of her just
she's always thinking about
sad
Book.
Sex.
Always.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Daniel. I do.
Did Book and Samuel stay in touch?
This is one of mine as well. Did they ever see each other again?
Did he write him a letter? Did he go back?
I really hope so.
I feel like Book went back.
I think
he went back to say hi to everybody. And
yeah, I think he checked in.
Daniel probably didn't love it.
I think he checked in. I think that was probably the end for Daniel and Rachel of their intimate acquaintance as a married couple once Book returned. But
Book got a letter from Samuel. Eli's dead. He got a hangnail and it got infected and he dropped dead because we decided to pour hot butter on it. It got infected.
Oh my God.
Here's my number one unanswerable question.
Okay.
Could Mallory Rubin have been Amish?
Is John Book there? Because if John Book is there and I can have sex with him in a barn or anywhere, the answer is yes.
John Book's not there.
I'm less interested now. I think I'm less interested.
Can I make the case?
Sure.
Well, yeah, I don't think you have TV.
I couldn't live without TV.
It seems like you do have books.
Sure.
I think the food looks extraordinary.
The food looks good.
You're getting all fresh
farm
produce,
to table. Yeah, locally
cows. Sourced. I was checking out some of the food spreads. Just seems like kind of stuff you would like.
Butter and like ice cream made from fresh cream. Fresh cream
mashed
in my
potatoes.
Coffee. Yeah, as you know, I, a very healthy person focused on wellness and nutrition, put heavy whipping cream in my coffee every day. It's delicious. And so I do think in that it's so good.
You don't really do that, do you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
If I'm out in the wild, I'll get oat milk just to manage the situation.
Cream.
But at home, I do heavy whipping cream.
That sounds delicious.
It's great. I'd really recommend it. It's really good. That part is appealing.
I got rid of half and half for like 2 weeks once, like 7 years ago, and started doing almond milk in my coffee.
Yeah.
And every day I was just sad the whole day.
It's not the same.
And I was like, you know what? Coffee's the highlight of my day.
Yeah.
Makes me the happiest. I love it. I love having 20 ounces of coffee and going through texts and
try it with heavy whipping cream.
Steam with the Dagos.
Get back
and
to me.
why would I want to make that experience worse?
You wouldn't. You shouldn't.
Heavy whipped cream.
Give it a try.
Really unbelievable.
I don't think that I could deal without I don't think I could survive without electricity. Organized religion, not
Sponge
really
baths?
for me. I'm a believer in a nice shower head. You know, I like a nice shower head.
Yeah,
sponge bath, not really.
I think
for
the
me.
number one thing for me would be the no coffee. That's the immediate deal breaker for me.
Well,
I could handle a sponge bath.
They have coffee. We got the that's great coffee moment, right? So they have coffee. They're growing crops. They have food.
But is it like Folgers coffee or like actual? Like, do you think they buy like the?
I don't know.
All right, you're right. So they do have the
coffee.
coffee.
Have coffee. You'd be fine on that front, but you
Food
couldn't
would
watch
be good.
sports.
No
you couldn't
sports
listen to
at all.
podcasts. You couldn't record podcasts.
No sports would be a deal breaker.
Very tough. Very tough.
I think I'd probably run out of things to say to people like Daniel after a couple minutes.
Same. You can't watch porn. You just have to watch somebody in your house take a sponge bath. That's as good as it gets. I don't know. It's limiting. Honestly.
Like, what is minute 4 of a Daniel conversation looking like? So what'd you do today? Oh, we helped Bob build a barn. Oh, how was it? It was good.
Same as the last barn. Yeah.
Yeah. Went up. Cool. The Zawant Nair Award for what happened the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So she married Daniel.
I mean, not immediately, but the courtship begins.
This is like Titanic level.
Yeah.
I had one night with a guy and it rocked my world to the point where I threw this $2.5 billion necklace in the water.
I think so.
I think that was her version of this.
I completely agree. I think that moment is occupying a lot of her interior life moving forward.
What piece of memorabilia would you want or not want from this movie? I had a hard time with this one.
This was harder than it typically is for the movies because, I'm inclined to say I would pick the sponge that Rachel used to give John.
Yeah, that'd be
sponge
weird.
Bath because it touched him. But do other people know what that is? If they see it on my shelf, maybe not. The milking hat, that could be fun. But
the Harrison Ford Amish hat.
Yeah, the Amish hat or the milking hat.
I didn't have any of those.
I ultimately went with the birdhouse.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Because it's like a bookend of the
Great
film.
idea.
He crashes into it. He puts it back.
Way
this
better than
idea
mine.
of tearing something down, building it back up. Harrison Ford carpentry. That's my pick.
That's way better than mine.
What was yours?
Jacob's sad tombstone. No, I didn't have one.
The bonnet, Rachel's bonnet, Samuel's wooden toy. You could do the car. Elaine's
No, the
VW.
birdhouse is great. Coach Finstock wore a best life lesson. There's never only one way.
That's what I had.
Yeah.
Good old Eli.
What'd you have for best double feature choice?
So I would pair this with Mosquito Coast. I think the two
Little
Harrison
River Phoenix.
Ford, the Harrison Ford Peter Weir team ups in consecutive years, and I think also the character of Allie that Ford plays in Mosquito Coast is so distinct from like any of his other roles, and it's really like kind of the anti
Even has the
John
longer
Book.
hair.
Yeah, the long
I
hair.
haven't
The
seen
glasses.
it in a while.
It's good. I watched it. I rewatched it 2 years ago when I was just basically like mainlining every Harrison Ford movie in anticipation of Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
And Mosquito Coast is fucked up, but pretty good movie. Underrated, I think.
The director is always a fun 2 hours, regardless of what the movie is.
Yeah.
I like his stuff. Who won the movie? Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Correct.
Yeah. Well, we don't have Craig this week because he's on vacation.
Yeah. I want to know what he thinks.
Maybe we'll get it. Maybe next one he'll come back.
That would be great. You should just text him while he's on vacation and, say, Craig, it's 4:30. Time for milking. He'll
grab
reply.
that teat.
Yeah.
Thanks to Craig anyway. Thanks to Chris.
Chris, our guy.
Thanks to Ronak. Thanks
What
to
a crew.
Kevin for coming over today and making sure the studio was going good.
The best.
And then we'll be back with another Rewatchables episode next week. This is it. We did Witness, finally.
I'm thrilled. An honor. A privilege.
And shout out to our girl, Joe.
Good old Joe. We love Joe. We miss Joe. Joe loves this movie.
I know.
Dobbins loves this movie.
It's a classic.
It's a great one.
But it could only be you. We couldn't have more people on this. It had to be your thing.
We've been waiting for this one for a while.
Hopefully Harrison Ford hears. Mallory Rubin, thank you.